What's up guys, Steph Strong here. This is our first video of the how-to series. I'm really excited for this series. This is something I'm going to be carrying around over the future. These are really great videos for you to be teaching yourself some of the basics, but also some of the common errors that even the most advanced lifters do. So today we're going to be touching upon proper bracing techniques. Now this is a concept that's very overlooked from not only beginners when they're first starting, because they're very excited, they just want to get underneath a barbell, but also is something that very advanced lifters lack because they didn't pay attention enough in the beginning. Okay, so it's really important to build a solid foundation so you can not only increase the longevity in your sport, which is directly correlated with your level of success in the sport, but it'll also allow you to use the proper muscles correctly so you can build not only a well-rounded physique, but also have proper and good safe lifts as well. So let's get right into it. The first thing I usually do with a new client is teach them the dead bug. So if you're someone that's worked with me in the past, not only for online coaching, but also in-person training, this is something that we touch on right from the beginning. So the first thing you can do to simplify to teach them a neutral spine is to get them on the floor. So a lot of people either have tight quads, tight hamstrings, all that stuff that can be pulling their pelvis, either into anterior or posterior tilt. Just get them on the floor, have them bend their knees, and then that way it's really easy for you to not only give tactile cues if you're working them with in person, but it's also easier for them to go into the positions that you want. You're gonna be sitting on the floor and we're gonna be laying down on our backs. The first thing that we're gonna be doing is bending our knees. So start with your knees bent on the floor. Now, what we're gonna be battling here in that neutral spine position when you're bracing is this. So we don't want this. We wanna be tucking our tailbone onto the floor as hard as we possibly can. So I'm not just talking about like this. See how we can kind of still see a little bit of a gap? I really want you focusing on keeping that chest locked down and really closing that gap between your hip sockets and your belly button and your rib cage, okay? So one cue that I really enjoy using is imagining that there's an elastic band running underneath your back and I'm trying to pull that band out from you, okay? So you're pushing as hard as you can. From here, we're gonna be raising up our legs while really keeping here, and our feet are flexed. So common error here, people don't pay attention to their feet. When you're standing up, your feet are in that flexed position and we're gonna be keeping that nice strong foot, which is something that we can talk about in another video. Nice flexed feet here, our knees are at a 90-degree angle and we're keeping our rib cage locked down, arms up, and we're getting our lats engaged. So our core is not only just our abs, it's also our lats and our glutes all simultaneously working together to build a nice solid pillar-esque physique. Everything's nice and down, our shoulders are down from out of our ears. From here, we're just gonna hold this for 30 seconds, okay? So what I'm focusing on here is breathing through my belly, okay? So, and not my chest through my nose. So do you see how if I breathe through my chest, my rib cage comes up? I get that gap again right in between that low back and the floor. I really want to figure out a way that I can breathe through my belly, so nice deep diaphragmatic breaths, not shallow ones through my chest, and keep that breath locked down. So I want you guys to try that for 30 seconds before we move on to the next exercise. Okay, so the second thing that then if a client is able to do that, now it is common for clients not even be able to have the strength. So even if you work with like women or men who are like 30, 40, even 50 years old, and they've been breathing a certain way in their life, it's really difficult for them to all of a sudden be breathing a certain way into their belly, okay? So diaphragmatic breathing, it's a new concept for most people, but it's the right way to breathe. It not only helps with like stress levels, but it also helps you learn to brace correctly in your lifts. Getting someone to like first understand that is really important before you move to the next step, okay? So they need to be able to do this easily and like being able to get that chest locked down and have a high kinesthetic awareness so they're able to move safely before they even touch the barbell. Okay, so once they're able to hold that static position for 30 seconds, a little bit of shaking and stuff like that's okay because it does show that they're able to keep that isometric hold and generate tension. Tension's our best friend right now. The second thing that I do is add a dynamic to it. So we're gonna be lowering opposite arm, opposite leg. This is a very common exercise and kind of like what you'd think about in the standard dead bug. However, this is a really great warm-up tool. It's also a really great tool to use as an accessory exercise as well to keep it highly specific for your powerlifting lifts. So what we're doing here is getting to that same position. So we're getting that nice tucked pelvis position. We're pushing that spine into the floor. Everything's up into that starting position, the same thing that we just did, okay? From here, all I'm gonna be doing is taking 4 seconds. I'm activating this hip extension by flexing my glute. Opposite arm, opposite leg are gonna be going all the way to full hip extension. I'm not touching, resting on the floor, but I am almost kissing the floor, okay? And then coming back up. The most common error here is people don't breathe. I actually want you to be exhaling powerfully through your teeth, almost taking like that sound on the way down, just so then we can really activate those deep core muscles the way that we want. Okay, so doing 4 reps per side with a 4-second eccentric on the way down is a good place to start. Now you can add a couple more reps here and there, but once that gets easier, we're going to introduce different challenging ways so you can be getting stronger in different planes of movement. Okay, so we're not gonna touch in too much about the whole portion of the low bar back squat, but I am gonna demonstrate, since it is a common method to squat amongst powerlifters. So we're gonna be showing you guys what a proper back squat looks like with proper bracing techniques. We're also gonna show you guys common errors and faults that can stem from improper bracing. So a lot of chest breathing and not enough diaphragm breath. So I'm gonna be grabbing the bar wherever feels comfortable, whatever feels most natural. When you're practicing bracing, it's really important to not change how you normally do things unless it's going to favor you bracing properly. So if you're someone that has a really narrow grip but you have poor shoulder mobility and that's preventing you from getting your chest locked down because you're compensating with your shoulder, try to widen up your grip, and same vice versa. If your grip's really wide and you feel like you can't get that chest locked down properly, try narrowing up your grip, okay? So try not to overthink it, just do whatever feels most natural. We're gonna be getting that barbell in the lockdown position. Now from here, what I wanna be doing here is focusing on that nice strong foot. I'm getting into my normal squat stance. I'm pulling that bar down into my back. So remember, our core is not just our abs, it's also activating our lats. So we're packing that shoulder down, pulling that bar into that nice lower trap pocket where it can sit nicely, and we're getting that chest locked down. So a lot of people kind of like start like this because the weight feels uncomfortable, especially amongst beginners. I really want you focusing on getting that chest locked down. Everything's nice and stacked, okay? My elbows are underneath the bar. From here, I'm taking a 3 to 4 second breath into my belly, okay? So do you notice how my chest did not flare up at all? So an incorrect movement would look like just like this. I like to imagine I have teacups on each end of the barbell, and I'm not trying to spill my teacups at all, okay? So the barbell should stay nice and steady. From here. Now a couple reps to look improper, chest breathing. I might get that chest flare from here, and I might shoot my hips back, okay? So do you notice how my chest is really flared up and I am seeing some hyperextension in the low spine? We really want to avoid that. One good cue I like to cue lifters who struggle to keep that chest locked down past that start position, which is a common error, it's okay, is to break out your knees and your hips at the same time. So you almost want to think about going like this. It's not a hinge and squat. That's a whole other problem on its own. So if you're someone that does that, really try to like make that transition seamless. I really want you to focus on pushing those knees forward and breaking out your knees and your hips at the same time so you can comfortably sit down into your squat. Okay, so now we're gonna be talking about the conventional deadlift. So I'm not gonna be talking too much again about like the setup, process, all that stuff. That's gonna be something we're gonna be talking about in a different video. But one thing I will talk about the importance, check marks, and I'm gonna demonstrate a good lift, okay? So a deadlift is the only lift that lacks an eccentric portion. So the eccentric portion, if you ever noticed, usually when you're doing a set of squats, you're either your 4th, 5th, or maybe not even 6th, I don't know. But the reps later in sets are often the better reps. That's because you've had more time under tension. It's easier for you to maintain position. But powerlifting is all one rep. You should be able to execute the same level of technique you would on that 3rd or 4th rep on that 1 rep max. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing here is setting up. So this is my setup that works for me. I'm gonna be getting that nice strong foot. I wanna pull myself down to the barbell, okay? So I'm creating that eccentric so I can generate enough tension and operate as a hinge, keep that chest locked down. So I'm bracing at the top here. I like to take a breath at the top, and I'm gonna take another one right before my lift, okay? So I'm pulling myself down to the bar. I'm reaching my hips back. I'm operating as a hinge, not a squat. I'm grabbing the barbell. So did you notice that every single rep I'm taking a new breath, okay? So I'm not doing multiple reps on the same breath. It's really important for you to be resting, resetting, treating each rep like a single. I'm keeping my lats locked down, I'm keeping my chest locked down, and I'm operating as a hinge. Now, once I go into hyperextension here, everything in my legs, I'm not gonna be able to use them as efficiently as I would be able to if my chest were to be locked down. Now, imagining you're pushing the floor away, not pulling the bar up, is a really important cue to be cueing yourself in the conventional deadlift. That prevents someone from, this is a bad rep, okay? So I'm just going up and I'm gripping and ripping the bar. Do you notice how my chest is up, it's not locked down. It also prevents me from locking out properly, and it increases my chance of hinging at the top, which is all red lights in a powerlifting competition. Okay, so moving on to the bench press. Again, we're not gonna be touching into too many details of like why powerlifters arch, but I do wanna touch on how to actually brace in that arch position today. Powerlifters typically bench with a little bit of a wider grip and that arch, so they're able to get their shoulders down in that GH joint, activate our lats, and also activate our total body tension as much as we can, so we can not only generate a safe lift, but a powerful and efficient lift as well, okay? So what I want you guys focusing on here is every single rep, just like our squat and our deadlift, is taking a new breath into your belly every single rep, okay? So one key that I really enjoy teaching clients and myself as well is filling my shirt up with air every single rep, okay? So since you are in that arch position, that air will kind of naturally tend to fill up your diaphragm a little bit more because you are resting on those upper traps. But I do want you guys to really think about taking that new breath every single rep, even if it's a set of 3 to 5 to 6 or 8, okay? Treat every single rep like a single. I can't stress how important that is. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I do really want to continue this how-to series, so I really want to hear from you. This is your chance for me to engage with you. So if there's something specific that you do struggle with, whether it be in your squat, bench, or your deadlift, whether nutrition, all that stuff, definitely comment down below. I do read the comments. But other than that, I hope this helps. I hope you can share it to a friend that can help them too, and we'll see you guys next week.